What are the three types of trends? How do you spot them and how do you trade them? Hi, this is David Modell looking at the markets. I'm going to show them to you, all three of them, that I look for, and then a real-life example using Apple stock at the end. So first I want to give a shout out and a big happy birthday to my wife. I love you and thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to say that first and foremost. All right, so the first type of trend I like to look for is a weak trend. And this is true for whatever candles you're using, whatever time frame, whether it's 1 minute candles, 5 minute, hourly, daily, whatever. These are just concepts to look for, okay? And these ideas do not work perfectly. They are not guaranteed. So just ideas to help you, okay? So when you have the candles trading above the 200-day moving average, but just barely above it, like look at these candles. They're not way up here, okay? They're pretty close to the 200-day moving average, but just a little bit above it. And I'm talking about the simple moving average, 200 SMA. You could also use the exponential moving average instead if you want to. That's fine also. But I'm going to use the simple moving average. So when the candles are just barely above the 200, you know, not that far above, not a big gap between the candles and the moving average, that is a weak trend, because the 200 period moving average, it's probably not going to go straight up vertical, right? It's probably going to be pretty horizontal most of the time. And so it's a gradual or weak trend. It's not a bad thing. It's fine. It's just a more gradual trend. So what do you do there? You can buy at support. So when the candles are trading this way with a weak trend, then you can watch for the pullback to an established support level with a number of data points, and then you can buy, and then be careful resistance. That's a place to consider taking profits. Rinse and repeat with support and resistance. Remember that resistance can become support when there's a big breakout, when it breaks up through it. I'm not going to give you a whole lesson on support and resistance right now. That's a whole other topic to go into. But anyway, that's how you can trade a weak trend. Now, what if the candles are pretty far above the 200-day moving average? Okay, you know, like way up here, but then maybe the candles are just barely above the 50-period moving average. All right, like maybe it's bouncing off of the 50. So yeah, see how the candles on this one are just a little bit barely above the 50-period moving average. Okay, so that's even more than a weak trend. That's a healthy trend. All right, it's not going parabolic, you know, vertical straight up, but it's a steeper than more of a gradual weak trend, right? And so how do you trade that? You can buy whenever there's a pullback if you want to. Okay, again, this is not guaranteed to work, but it's a pretty good way to go if there's a healthy trend, or at least you could try it with virtual trading, paper trading, whatever, demo trading. Try it out, not with real money first to see if it works. And then so, it goes up and then pulls back to that healthy trend to the 50, and then boom, right? Okay, then it pulls back to the 50 and then boom. So you buy in those pullbacks, right? Again, doesn't always work. Does not always work, but it's an interesting idea, the healthy trend, okay? Now, what if the candles are way above the 50? All right, they're like way, way, way above the 200, and then, pretty far above the 50 period moving average, but then maybe they're barely above the 20 period moving average. All right, the 20 period moving average tends to cling pretty closely to the candles. So when you get a big space between the the candles and the 20, that's a really strong trend. That thing's really, look how steep that angle is, okay? Not like the weak trend, which has taken forever to go up, right? And then the healthy trend, which is a little steeper angle, but then the steepest, that's a strong trend when it's bouncing off of that 20 period moving average, okay? So then you could buy whenever there's a breakout if you want to. You can try that out with demo trading. So, it goes up to, what is breakout trading? I'm not going to give a whole lesson on that. That's a whole other topic. But, you got your prior peak, right? It goes up to a peak, pulls back, and then when it breaks up through that prior high, that prior peak, previous peak, then, oh, that's a breakout, and then it establishes another peak, or another top, then it pulls back, and then you can wait until it breaks up with probably a high volume is even better, okay, and a nice green candle, nice big green candle, that's even better, okay, but it breaks through that previous peak, and then you can buy, because it's a strong trend, and so there's a good chance, possibly, no guarantees, that it'll keep going up. And that's what it looks like with Apple here. Okay, it's a pretty strong trend. I mean, look at that. This is the 20-period moving average. All right, so it's really, really a nice trend here in Apple stock 30-minute candlestick chart. But it's not even about the time frame. These are ideas you can try out with virtual trading on different time frames. And look at that. Okay, you have something kind of similar to this. Now, it's not going to be exactly like a textbook. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, picture perfect. But you wait for it to establish a top or a peak, and then wait until it pulls back. Right, establishes a peak, pulls back, and then look at that, broke through that prior high, and then boom, right? Okay, and then wait for a pullback. Okay, you got that prior high there. You establishes a high, pulls back. You wait until it breaks through there, and look at that candle. Boom, right? I didn't put the volume bars here, but if you put the volume bars, you could maybe use that as confirmation, just to let you know it's a powerful breakout. Broke out through this, and boom, and just kept going. Okay, boom, boom, boom. So that is a way to trade a strong trend. And I know it's a strong trend because it just keeps staying above that 20-period moving average, even with a little bit of space above there sometimes. Okay. So 3 types of trends to think about, to look for. How do you find them? Look at those moving averages to help identify them. And then 3 different ways to trade them. I hope this was helpful to you. If you like this, if you appreciate what I'm doing, please give this a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will talk to you again soon.